Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another card making video. So we're gonna get right into it. I am doing this for the Simon Says Stamp Challenge of the month. It's from January 1st to the 31st, and it's a challenge to use either something that's new to you, so either a new technique, a new product, a new stamp company, or to make a project for something new. Baby, wedding, house, job, anything like that. So it's a very open interpretation, and I am going to be using the Colorado Craft Company, which is a new to me stamp company. This is a stamp set that I have never used before, and it is called, let me just show it to you real quick. It is called, this is the Lovely Legs one. This was a Simon Says Stamp exclusive, and I had to buy it. This was during Stamptember. My nieces dance. My oldest niece, who is 13, she's also my goddaughter, she dances. She's been dancing since the time she was 2, I think. And her sister, my niece Elizabeth, also dances and does gymnastics. She likes gymnastics, I think, a little bit more than dance, but she still does dance. And then the twins danced for a little bit, and then my second youngest niece, Nora, dances, and I'm sure that at some point when Mila grows up, she will also at least try dance out. So because of this, I thought I had to get this stamp set. So I took a piece of cardstock, or it's watercolor paper. This is it from the, it's called Master's Touch. This is the Hobby Lobby brand. One of Hobby Lobby's brands. Hobby Lobby has a lot of brands, not to get off on a sidetrack, but they do have a lot of brands, and this is one of them, and they often go on sale 50% off, and they were 50% off when I bought them. And I bought a couple of pads of watercolor paper, and I am trying it out today, I think for the first time. I think I might have stamped something down, but I don't think I ever colored it, watercolored it. So this is the image, and I know that they're cut off, and I was gonna put them at the top, but I didn't like the sentiment anywhere else. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, it's your birthday, and then we're gonna do a sentiment on the inside. So I'm gonna put this off to the side, and we are going to use some new watercolors too. So you'll be able to see that I have never opened these. These are the Gansi Tambi. These are the pearl colors, these are the gem colors. Never use those. I think I want to use them for the dresses for the dancers. And then I have these Faber-Castell watercolors. These are ones that I bought for the twins when we started doing crafts. I thought those would be really good for watercoloring. And then I also bought these. These were on clearance. I think these both were on clearance, the Faber-Castell and these ones. These are the Carndacci 13 gouache. They're cakes, they're high pigmented concentration, and it says for school. So you have the white gouache, and then you have all the other colors. So we're going to use some of these. We may not use the last tin that I showed you, but we'll use some of these. And I want to open them and try them out. So I thought, what better time than going on and making a video for me to try out brand new products when I have zero idea how they work. But I can kind of show you guys a review of them as well if I can get them open. So you can clearly tell I have never opened these because these are not even coming out of their box. This is very difficult to get open. There we go, finally. Like 5 minutes of me trying to get these out. Oh, these are really, really pretty. Oh, super sparkly. I don't know, there you go. You can see the shimmer in the light. Oh, so pretty. So those are the gem colors, and then these ones are the pearls, and these, obviously these pearls came out easier. These look more like, actually, they kind of look the same to me with the shine. So we're gonna start off with these. Now, you will notice I'm not great with watercolor. I'm just gonna put a little bit of water down on my mat, and I have a bunch of brushes. Don't know which one to use. I took art like a long time ago. If you've seen some of my other videos, I talk about it, about the art classes that I took at some point. I'm actually just gonna spray a little bit of water in here, I think. I took art classes. I was actually in talented art. Can't tell you a thing about it. Don't think that I was great at it. Don't know how I actually ended up in that class. If you, these are very highly pigmented, it looks like, unless I got too much on here. So let's dip my brush in water and make it a little bit less pigmented. I actually meant to set this with my heat tool before I started coloring. Clearly, I have it set up so I may dry the colors in between. I didn't want to, it's really loud, so I didn't really want to do it on camera, but if I have to, I will. So I guess while I have you guys, while we're sitting here and we can talk about things, well, I mean, I can talk and you guys can listen. Does anybody else follow Damask Love? So Amber, I found her from Making It, which I loved that show. I loved the second season. I loved the first season more than the second season. I think just probably because I knew what to expect, and I felt like the second season just went by so fast because they did episodes every night for 2 weeks. So it was kind of, I don't know, I liked it spread out. But anyway, so I found Amber from that. She was one of the contestants on there. I'm just going to dab some of this color away. And, oh, crap. I just got some on the outside. Let's see if we can, we'll probably be able to fix that. We'll blend that into the background. Let's see if I can actually take that color away. Yeah, not really. That was not a really good job. Took a little bit of it away. Okay. So anyway, Amber was on there, and she and her husband decided that they're going to do this thing that apparently a lot of people are doing, and I've actually seen it somewhere else. One of my other friends on Instagram was doing it, where you pick an artist each week and you only listen to their music. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, that would be really cool. I would like to do that. So I think I am going to go ahead and do that. And you put 52 artists into a bowl or, you know, whatever you have, and then you determine what you're going to listen to all week. So you just pick one and listen to that musician for the entire week. Now, if I do this, it would only be Monday through Friday. I wouldn't do it on the weekends because I don't really actually listen to that much music during the weekends, just because during the week I'm in my office all the time, and that's generally what I do. Is I'll watch a movie or listen to music. I'm trying to figure out how to color this because this has a really pretty pattern on it. But I think I'm just going to color it all green and then possibly go over it with a different color. Now this one to me looks like an Irish step dancer, and I actually have friends that were Irish step dancers when they were little, and I know one of their daughters is an Irish step dancer still. I don't know if my other friend's daughter is. She probably is. I think I've seen pictures of her. But this reminds me that was another reason I got this. This reminded me so much of them. Now, like I said, I'm not a big watercolor person, so I'm just kind of doing very basic coloring. Nothing fancy. I'm going to try to go back, I think, a little and shade a little bit of this in. You know, maybe add some shadows and things if I'm not boring you guys to death. But I just wanted to kind of come on here and talk about a couple of things. So I really think that that is a neat idea, is to try to listen to a different artist every single week. I think that is really different because I tend to listen, you know, if you listen to the radio, which I know not a lot of people do, but even if you listen to XM Sirius, whatever it's called, I don't have it anymore. I had it. I think they combined. But if you listen to that, it's still a lot of the same stuff over and over again. So it's kind of nice to listen to something different. And maybe, you know, as I'm going through the list, because I was looking at other people's lists, there's a hashtag, I think, so you can look at other people's lists and you can just, you know, get other artists. Like they were naming some people. One, I had no idea who they were. And actually Amber didn't know either. If you guys saw her post, it was really funny because I was like, I don't know who that is. and her husband was like making fun of her because she didn't know who that was. But anyway, so there's that, and then so there's other artists, or like they were throwing out artists, and I'm like, I haven't thought about that artist in such a long time. You know, that would be kind of cool to go back and listen to stuff from your childhood. But things that they left off of there, and first of all, I don't know if I would be able to do this first one. And I used to be obsessed, and this shows my age, with O-Town. I don't know if you guys remember the show Making the Band. It was on MTV. Loved that show. Loved them. Actually met some of them when we were in Vegas for my senior trip, I think. When we were out in Vegas, we met some of them. And I would love to listen to a week of them. I know that they have some stuff, and there's a commercial that's out now that uses like part of one of their songs, or it's like a parody of one of their songs, and I can't remember what it is, but I think it's a car commercial, and it might just be a local one, but I was like, oh my goodness, when I heard that, I'm like, that's O-Town. I would love to listen to them. So I have to see how many songs they have. I don't know if I could do a whole week, because talk about repetitive, but you know, something like that, I think that would be really fun to do. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And again, I've talked about nothing about crafting this whole entire time, basically. So I'm just kind of rambling. I'm just squirting water in here and just kind of, oops, now I got that on her arm because I wasn't paying attention. And, you know, I'm going to put some shading in here once these are dry enough. And like I said, you can clearly tell I'm terrible at this. I definitely have zero training. I know people who are true watercolorists, and I don't think any of them watch. Like, if a Sandy Allnuck watched this, she probably would be pulling her hair out right now. Just be like, what are you doing? But this is how I watercolor. Again, I was never taught. I took talented art. Clearly none of that stuck because I have not done a great job. So these can be highly pigmented if you don't put a lot of water in there. Like you can see I did some of on the sleeves is a darker green. And then obviously I drew on her arm with the blue. So I'll have to go back and cover that up. I think we're going to use these Faber-Castell for those, like for the skin tones and stuff. But so just clean this off. So yeah, so O-Town was one of them. What was the other ones that I was thinking about doing? Oh, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Like nobody talked about those. And I'm thinking, really? Nobody's taught. Oh, I did not clean that one off. So this one has a blue from another paint, not from these paints, but from another paint. So I am going to soak that up. Always check your paint brushes to make sure that they don't have any paint, because this one has paint on it. So I have a drawer full of brushes, and I rarely ever watercolor, but I do like to buy paintbrushes when they're on sale because I clearly think that I'm more artistic than I am. I found that to be very true, is that I think that I am great with watercolors or painting, and then I go back and I'm like, what was I thinking? Because I clearly am not. I do not have the talent to do that, but I do find it to be fun. If you guys saw my Instagram post on the card that I sent I did a couple of card swaps this year, which were really fun. So I think that if you guys are into card making and really want to kind of expand your horizons, I really think it was such a fun thing to do. Is this the brush that I just had? And I think it is. And I think that I should put that to the side that has paint on it and won't come off. If you guys are interested in doing the card swaps, they were so much fun. I did a couple of them this year. I didn't get any card. I got one card from this woman, Marie, who was so cool. And I feel terrible. She sent me a Christmas card, and with everything that I had going on, I really didn't send Christmas cards out this year. And so I was like, oh, I will send her a New Year's card. And well, that didn't happen. So I am going to send her a card. So if you're watching, Marie, I am going to send you a card. I got your card. Thank you so much. But I did do I did a couple of card swaps this year, and those were so much fun. And I did the one card that I did for her. I was trying to figure out where I was going with the story. But the one card that I did for her, I did some no-line watercoloring, and that was so much fun. So I used a very light color of distress ink, I think. Not distress oxide. It might have been distress oxide, one of those. But anyway, I used one of those, and I actually watercolored with distress inks. And it was so much fun. If you guys, I really think you should try it out. If you have distress inks or distress oxides, it was such a fun technique, and I just kind of let myself go and just, put colors that I thought looked good together. There was no real rhyme or reason that I did any of it. But it was so much fun. I had such a good time making the card for her. So I think that I want to do a little bit more of that. So I was hoping that I would be able to do that a little bit more this year, do some card swaps and do a little bit of that was fun because it was just a completely different technique than anything that I was used to, because I don't really do no-line watercoloring. I don't really do watercoloring. So that was a fun technique to do. And it's fun to swap cards with people and see what images they have and, what their techniques are and what their style is, because everybody has such a different style. So that was fun. And in the ones that I participated in where I sent a card, but I didn't get one back, I still looked at what people were getting because people were posting their cards. And it was really cool to see all the different things. I really wish that I had gotten one back, and actually I think that's where I got my card from, is because Marie volunteered to send me a card because I didn't get one. I had sent one, but I didn't get one. I sent it to somebody in Canada, which was kind of expensive, but she said she never got it. Oh, I don't know. She also said that she was sending me a card, and then we found out that that's not how it works. You didn't have, if you sent a card to somebody, it didn't necessarily mean that they were sending the card to you. They actually changed it up, so that wasn't the case. Okay. But anyway, it was fun to do. I, didn't expect a card back because I've done things like this before, like those, when you say, oh, mail out 10 bottles of wine, or do 10 bottles of wine and you'll get 20 back, or when you do things like that, and I feel like you never ever get back the amount that anybody says you were going to get. But anyway, those kind of things are just fun to do, just to meet new people. And that was the interesting thing, is just getting a chance to meet people who like crafts like you, and are, and have different styles and different strengths, and you can learn from. So that's what I really like, is to be able to learn from people. So, okay, so if you guys were paying attention while I was rambling about that stuff, I just used which one? This is the Pearl Colors. I used the Pearl Color pink, the Pearl Pink, to actually color in the top of her suit. And then I used the gem pink on the bottoms. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I used the gem the gem was the highlights on here. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. It looks like a darker pink because I think I mixed the two kind of together, because I didn't really wash off my brush that well. So now we're going to do the bottom. So this is really, again, it's really not a technique video. It's just me kind of practicing my watercoloring and talking to you guys. So hopefully you guys have been able to participate in something like that, because it is a lot of fun. Even if you, like I said, even if you don't get something back, it still was fun to participate and, see what everybody's doing. I actually did a card swap with a Disneyland group that I'm in. So I made some Frozen cards, which if you go over to my Instagram, I have them on there. And that was a lot of fun. I completely messed this up. I wasn't sure where the laces were, but we can go back and fix that. So that was a lot of fun because I thought on brand for Disney, and Frozen so popular now, especially with Frozen 2. All right, let me try to, there's one spot here that I kind of wanted to just dab up. Okay, so let's clean off this brush and we'll start with the green one. But this is pretty much how we're gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna, I'll keep the video going, and hopefully it doesn't take me too long to finish these ones, but I think I just wanted to go back in with some of these colors. Go back in with the green and just add some highlights and give it a little bit of dimension. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. So this is like I said before, this is for Simon Says Stamp, the new challenge, and it's the challenge for January. I thought that was a really cool idea, was to do something new, because everyone, I know that a lot of people know people that are having babies or are getting married or have bought a house. But this, so it can be that, or you can do, stuff that's new to you. Because one of my challenges, if you watched my goal video, one of my challenges was to use a lot of my stuff, because I do have a lot of supplies that I have never used, which is pathetic. It really is. I have been doing this for a while. I've been buying and buying and buying and not using. So this gives me a chance to use stuff, especially things that I thought that I was going to use that I bought. And so I might do a couple of these for the card challenge, but I think you can only enter once, so I'll see whichever card comes out the best. I'm thinking this is not going to be it, just because, well, you can see for yourselves. But this is what I like. I do like, even if it doesn't come out, I'm completely fine with just playing around and just kind of, experimenting with colors and supplies, because not everything has to be a masterpiece. Not everything has to turn into a card. You can just have some things that are just, your best attempt at doing something, which is what I'm gonna go with. This is my best attempt at watercoloring right now, because it really is not that great. But you never know, it could come out and turn out to be a masterpiece. It's not going to, but it you could look at something. I've watched artists' videos that start off and I'm thinking, where are they going with this? And then I watch it and I'm like, okay, I can kind of see. And I go further and further and I'm like, wait a second, that looks amazing. How did I ever doubt that this was going to look good? Never my stuff. I don't find myself saying that about my things, but so I do have a funny story for you. So when we went to Disneyland last month for my birthday, they have a thing right by, it's called Off the Page, which is this really, really nice store that has all these drawings and things from different Disney animators. And then there's an animation, I wanted to say animation station, but I don't think that's the right word. So it's an animation class, so where you learn how to draw things. If you go back and look at my Instagram, you'll see that I learned how to draw Donald. I actually have 2 other ones on there, and I'm trying to think what else we drew. We drew Donald, we drew Olaf, and we drew something else. Can't remember what it was. Oh, Tigger. That was the other. We drew Tigger, which was my Tigger came out terrible, I feel like, even though my friend that I went with, Kara, said that it looked really, really good. We did a girls' weekend, and I was like, it doesn't, but thank you. And anyway, she said it looked good, and it looked like Tigger. I'll have to post that eventually. But it was one of those things where you start out like Tigger. They said, start out and make a potato-sized oval, like a potato-shaped oval. I'm thinking, where is this going? And we're drawing, and, you know, the artist's drawing is getting better and better, and I feel like mine's getting worse and worse and looks further and further like Tigger, and actually nothing like Tigger. But it was just funny to watch that and see all these shapes actually become the Disney characters. So that was a lot of fun too. Oops, I put a little bit too much water on that one. That was a lot of fun to do, was to see these animals come to life. These cartoon characters, I shouldn't say animals, but the cartoon characters come to life. So that was a lot of fun. So we did that. But that's another case of the, you know, I look at something and I'm like, how did this become that? Or that become this? So I'm just filling in the top shoes. I'm going to make them a little bit lighter. I'm going to try to make them a little bit lighter. I'm going to make them more of like a gray. At least that one is. I need to add a little bit more water to this one. There we go. Make it a little more gray. The clogs, or the Irish dancing shoes, are a little bit darker. I made them like dark black. And sorry this video is so long, that I just wanted to talk to you guys as I was doing this in real time. And I could always do a voiceover and kind of go through and show you guys the highlights, but again, not that I'm showing you any techniques or anything that you probably don't already know. But here is the image right now, and hopefully me having this down here, you guys can see this, because I have such a if you guys could see my camera system right now, you'd be laughing, because I have a Martha Stewart punch. One of the ones, you can't see it because they're back there, but I have that holding up my phone as my camera. So it's a very unique, shall we say, situation. Let's try this. Let's see what color this is. It gives like a, all right, let's try this. We're gonna try this. We can always add some white in there if it's too, so that looks like, yeah, it's a little bit too orangey. So let's add some white in there. Let's find a brush and add some white. And this one, I didn't clean this one off either. This one had some blue in it. It's definitely a lot more yellowish than I kind of wanted it to be. But there we go. We've toned it down a little bit with the white, and it's now a little bit more peachy. Even though my friends that are Irish dancers, they are whiter than me, probably. They're Irish, and I think their grandmother is from Newfoundland. So they're like Irish and Canadian. They're super, super fair-skinned. Yeah, and so what I did, if you can't see this, I dipped it in this like orangey honey color and then dipped the brush into the white. So to come up with kind of this like tannish light skin tone. This one, yeah, too dark. That's definitely way too dark. Now they have a very dark hand. We'll just go over it with some of the white, and her hand is like super, super dark now. We will get a little bit more water in here. So I hope that this isn't too boring for you guys and that you are, just kind of enjoying listening and kind of getting to know me a little bit better, because I've done a lot of videos where it's just really techniques and things like that, and I haven't really talked too much about my background and myself and, you know, just kind of things. So not that you guys are probably even interested. I don't even know. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but just thought that I would, we can try doing another layer later. Just thought that I would, you know, just kind of give this style of video a try, because I know that, you know, my other styles of video were just kind of showing you techniques. So this is probably going to be more like me. This is a very, very light color. This is like barely beige, barely anything. And usually when I find like a skin color or a color combination for something, I stick to that. It's not that I don't like to experiment. It's just like, okay, I found this color combination that works for me. So I just tend to do that. But we will see. I like this. This one I just mixed a little bit of the brown and took a lot, or the like honey color, and then took a lot of the white to give her a very, very light, pale, almost like barely even there skin tone. There you go. So that shows you the difference between the two skin tones, and those are using the exact same colors. So that's what I really like about watercolor, is you can use the exact same colors. You can use two of the exact same colors and you just mix it up differently, and you can create completely different looks for things. So I think that I want to do a little bit of the brown and some white on this one. So this one's probably going to be a little bit too dark. Is it like a little, so let's see. Like, is he like a brown color? Okay. Like a brownish color skin tone. Again, this is what I like about things. You just experiment. You can experiment with colors and add either black to darken them or white to lighten them. And the funny part about this is I taught the twins when, my gosh, they were little. I'm trying to think how old they even were. My goodness, they had to be maybe 3. And we were talking about color theories and stuff like that, and what makes what colors. And, ooh, that's definitely way too dark. Madeline said to me, well, to make it darker, you just add black. And I'm like, what? Like, she remembered when I said something, which was really funny. I was thinking, wow. So something that I said to her actually stuck, and she knew that that's how you made different colors. You used white if you wanted to make it lighter, and you use black if you want to make the color darker. So it was then that I was like, oh, I better really pay attention to what I say to her, because one, she's really paying attention to what I say, especially when it came to doing anything crafty. So didn't want to be accused of being a bad influence on her. But, you know, it was just really funny that those were the things that stuck with her, were, you know, how to make colors lighter and darker. And she is my little artist. She will sit with me for hours and paint or draw, but she's a huge perfectionist, and I don't know where she gets that from. Couldn't possibly be me. Completely joking. Because I am like super perfectionist, and I don't like to, like, she will look up characters and see what colors they are and things like that, and that's very much like how I am, but she's very creative. Here we go. That's the front. So this is the card. So that's everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I know this was like a 35-minute video, and I know that was pretty long, and like unusual for me. I think when the background is completely dry, I may go back in. I was gonna put a floor in and do all that kind of stuff, but I'm not gonna do that with you guys sitting here. I don't want you guys to have to watch that, but I just wanted to talk a little bit, show you guys a new to me stamp set and a stamp company. So again, this is the Colorado Craft Company, and I believe they're a newer company. I'm not sure how old they are. This came out for Stamptober. So Stamptober, so that's September, right? Not October, I think it's September. Stamptember. So this is them. They partnered with Simon Says Stamp and did one of the exclusive stamps, which Simon Says Stamp does every Stamptember. And I really like their stuff. And I actually was just watching Giannis Makula today, and she had a couple of their bold stamp sets, and they looked amazing. So they have a bunch of new stuff that's over there. It's exclusive to Simon Says Stamp from January 3rd to the 4th, I think, but then after that, it's available on their website, and it's really, I mean, they're really big and bold images. So, and I think this one is called the bold image too, right? This is a lovely leg. So they have a lovely leg set, bold images set, and then there's a third, like a whimsical design, which is more like cutesy characters and things like that. So if you guys don't know them, and like I said, I didn't know them before Stamptember, and I'm really, really liking their stamp sets. They were a lot of fun to color in. I will leave a picture over on Instagram after this card is all done, but I just wanted to show you guys some new products to me. So today we did the Gansi Tambi gem and pearl color watercolors, and we used the Faber-Castell, which I think I've used once since I've gotten this, probably a year ago. So we pretty much used all new supplies today, and the watercolor paper was new too. So everything was pretty much new. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this style of video, please leave me a comment below, thumbs up, you know, whatever, just to let me know, because then I can do more videos like that. And if you don't, feel free to let me know that too, and I can go back to the just making the card videos. But I think that sometimes it's fun to change it up and do new things. So I will let you guys know the final card that I decide to turn in for Simon Says Stamp. I'll do a video on that. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below or message me. And I'll see you guys again real soon for another video. Bye!